What's going on? Real quick, just making sure that we are live. We are live. All right, so yeah, today I'm going to be breaking down my latest beat called Feels So Good. I labeled it as a Sabrina Carpenter type beat. I originally was kind of thinking like a Macy Peters kind of vibe. And kind of like inspire songs off like Good Witch. But yeah, towards the end, sometimes I'll like make something and then just for like YouTube stuff, I'm like, oh, this would be better put under Sabrina, because she had some songs that kind of felt this way. So, anyways, yeah, let's get into it. So, as I'm going through this, as always, feel free to say what's up in the chat, and ask any questions pertaining to the beat or anything else about music. Always down to chat. So yeah, so for this, the first thing I started with was this guitar riff. So basically just came up with this idea. Yeah, and then so I tracked it with some flange in, and then with the processing on, here's what the end result sounds like. Kind of sounds like a lot of reverb, but in the context of the mix, I think it sounds pretty good. Added a little bit of EQ, added this little slap delay. Kind of just makes it feel like it has more space behind it. And then added these two reverbs. So I'm a big fan of combining reverb. Sometimes you'll add one and it just doesn't seem to do the job. And these are both like room emulations. But yeah, together, this is the sound. So in the context of the mix, this is what the main guitar sounds like. Yeah. So, yeah, on its own, it doesn't feel too wet, but definitely in solo, it sounds pretty wet. Yeah. So that was the first thing I started with. Started laying down some drums. Started out with a kick. Sounds like this. Came in with a snare. Yeah, a lot of times for snares, I'll use my own plate reverb. But this sample, which is an Oliver sample, just had like the perfect amount of tail for the song. I mean, it's like, yeah, it cuts right before the next beat. So, yeah, the snare just sounded perfect, so I really didn't have to do much to it. And yeah, my drums for this are pretty straightforward. But yeah, so nice little groove, One thing I do that generally helps a lot with the kick is I'll add a little bit of like low end to it. So add R bass just for some beef down low. Added a little bit of verb on that kick too. Because I feel like for the 80s stuff, you really need some of that verb, So yeah, what I consider the star of the show is this bass. So I'll play it to you without any of the processing. So this is just what the bass sounds like by itself. Very humble, very humble. All right, start adding some stuff in, a little bit of compression. Already better. Chorus. Add a little bit of EQ to get some of those high mids up so they really start coming out. Use some saturation, which from Chroma Glow, which sounds so good. I'm using it on everything. Use this plugin to amplify some of the mids. Looks like I'm not doing a ton, but there it is. And then this plugin called Infinite Bass I use to bring up the overall like low end bass. So instead of having a sub bass programmed in, it allows you to get really good low end from like a source that normally doesn't have it. So in this case, my electric bass was a perfect candidate for that. So with the processing, without it, night and day for sure. And the way this bass sticks out in the mix is so good to me. It's so forward, you know. Without the processing, you know, just like this. So boring. Cool. And then so for the next stuff we're doing, added this little eighth note synth thing. This just kind of carries on throughout the song. Kind of gives it some stability. Have this pad, feels nice underneath. This goes for the whole song as well. Very simple. So I actually have two pads together. So I was kind of looking for, I don't know, I guess a different sound. I guess I needed two pads. But yeah, to me, these really function as like one pad. Okay, cool. And I think we glossed over the intro, which we shouldn't because I like the way that was done. Let's hear this. Yeah. So I did this little ARP thing from a Juno. Sounds like this. Have some filtering and stuff on it, you know, kind of bring some life to it. And then added these wind chimes, which I really like. Yeah, I don't get to use wind chimes every day, so when I do, it's a good day. And then yeah, risers into a crash, you know. Love the way that China sounds. So good. I think that's the only time that specific cymbal plays, which I like. So yeah, so we just groove through the verse. These are basically all the elements. And then we come up here into the pre-chorus. Adding some different stuff. All right, just adding this little pad here, just to help it build a little bit more. And then into the chorus, which we have some new elements coming in here. So one of the first things you'll notice that's different about the chorus is, so like the main guitar, this guitar, instead of chugging it, I basically do a different pattern. I just go ding ding gong, which you'll hear here. So, you know, so originally the energy of this electric guitar was just chugging straight forward, doing the eighth note. And what I like about this is that I transferred the eighth notes rhythms into other things. So I added like a tambourine and acoustic guitars, which makes it not feel empty. Because originally, you know, that electric guitar was carrying a lot of the energy. So having it, you know, so going to another rhythm, I needed to bring in some more elements. So, and I'll go over some of those as well. So we have these guitar octaves in here. I think that's really what's helping the guitar here. So these together sound like this. Yeah, that's just me on an E note, ba-na-na-na-na-na-na, just over and over again. And then we've got these acoustic guitars that sound like this. very, very chorused out. A lot of verb on them. Yeah, and these actually aren't very present in the mix, but I feel like they're more felt than heard, you know. Yeah, they're just living up there in that top end. And then, yeah, so another thing, too, sometimes it's nice to have a tambourine. It'll help lift the chorus, you know, so it sounds like this. Nothing crazy. Tam with a little bit of reverb. And then, yeah, I think I'm adding in a couple things. So let's see what this is. Oh, yeah. So I added in this little bell deal. I was trying a bunch of different stuff, and the plugin I was using, the timing was kind of weird on it, so I ended up having to like bounce it out. That's why you see it's here in audio, and I kind of had to adjust some stuff around. But yeah, I think, you know, we have these nice little bells that help propel the chorus along, which I really like. And then these are just kind of overdub, so they almost sound like it's all one thing. But they're not, but they blend together very well. You almost wouldn't even notice. Yeah, just fit together nicely. And we added a little bit of a high organ in there. I remember this being kind of an accident. I think I accidentally hit a organ patch, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I use this plugin to kind of duck it down. It helps make space for drums and other stuff. So, yeah, there's that. And then this little pad in here. Oh, man, that sounds sick. Augmented voices. Yeah, that's cool. So, yeah, so those bells and pads like this. Yeah, not bad. So that's really what I'm bringing in here in this chorus. And a crash, nothing crazy. Okay, so this was interesting. So I originally had this lead guitar in here, and I had it basically the whole time that I was working on the beat. Is one of the first things I added on the chorus. Sounds like this. It sounds cool. I had it about like right here. But when I was finishing the beat, right towards the end, something felt just like too busy, and I was like, oh, I think it's this guitar. And I really liked it, and I ended up, you know, I was trying to turn it down. I was like turning it down and then trying to mess with panning it, and then eventually just like muted it, and then realized that it should have never been there in the first place. So sometimes, you know, I'll write something and I'm like, man, this feels really good. I like the way this part sounds. But later on, I'll realize that it just isn't the right part for the song or the beat. And, you know, you just have to cut it out. But yeah, you know, something that I always try to remember is just to like not be precious about, you know, things like that. And I think overall the beat sounds a lot better without that. Even though it sounds cool, it's just not, it's just too much, you know, especially if you're trying to fit a vocal in there. So yeah, so into verse 2. Okay, so this is cool. All right, so these original acoustic guitars for verse 2 sound like this. Basically just doing that the whole time. And that was okay, right? So in context, sounds like this. But, you know, I always ask myself, why not get weird with it? So what I did was I bounced that out. And, you know, so this is the same thing, sounds like this. It's the same thing that was up there, just without any reverb on it. And basically added a bunch of plugins. So added this EQ here, kind of give it filtered a little bit, and then added this filter plugin, which just does some weird stuff. That's really nice. All right, and then added some saturation, dirty it up a little bit, and then some MoTT to kind of expand it and give it some more energy. So it sounds kind of crazy, right? Especially compared to that. But in context of the mix, you know, it just gives it some nice flavor. All right. Okay. So we got that. And anything else? Oh yeah, we got guitar leads and stuff in here. Yeah, so here are my guitar fills. We got 2 channels of them. All right, so these sound like this. Oh yeah, so just a little harmony. So this was the original line. The original line was this. Yep, and then all I did was just create a harmony, basically playing, just harmonizing it. And then, yeah, together. A little bit of vibrato in there. And then let's see this one. That's one of my favorite ones. I like the way this one sounds. Whew. Let's hear this guy. Oh yeah. Yeah. Basically, I don't really know what to say. It's just a bunch of guitar fills, you know? Cool tone. Yeah, it's definitely a lot of chroma console stuff. Okay, let's see. Chorus 2. Anything different here compared to chorus 1? I think it's about the same. Yep. So nothing really new here. And then we go into the bridge. So the bridge, I decided to change chords. Go to like a 3 and a 4 kind of thing. And yeah, see what that sounds like. So we got, let's see, added in these guitar leads, these bends. It's a cool tone. Oh yeah, okay, so I added a little harmonic on top. That's cool. For just a little bit of sauce. And let's see what's here. Yeah, same thing. Maybe it's not harmonics, actually. That's not a harmonic. That's a harmonic. Yeah, and then basically just, yeah, harmonics here, and these are just notes. Yep, just kind of things to kind of fill out the energy, you know. Anything else in here? I switched to a ride cymbal. So our drums were over here cooking on these open hats. And then, you know, kind of trying to think like maybe what a real drummer would do. And I was like, maybe they'd go to the ride. I don't know. In this case, they did. Yeah, our little bridge guitar sounds like this. Here, let's look at this. I want to see what's going on. I think I have 2 layers of guitars here. Oh, I think I did a DI. Yeah, so this was the original guitar I tracked in. It sounded like this. Put a couple plugs on it for a little bit of sauce. And then added this, I believe it's DI guitar. Yep, straight DI guitar in there. Sometimes a DI guitar can make the guitar you already have stand out more and give it a little more edge. And in this case, I think it helps a lot. So just our original guitar sounds like this. And the little DI underneath it. You can hear like the attack of the pick a little bit more. Cool. And then, yeah, so something I added to the last chorus, just to give it a different, feel, is added this guitar lead right here. Double tracked it. Without it. Just a little simple counter melody. All right, and then I think we just crash out. Yep. I think that's it. I don't think I missed anything. Here to see it. I didn't talk about the synth bridge. Yeah. Added a little bridge on the sorry. Added a little synth on the bridge. I don't think that's really anything particularly worth talking about. Yeah, I mean, so that's basically it. So for stuff like this, it's really, instrumental based. So it's kind of more about like the parts, and kind of less about, fancy techniques. Even though we did some weird stuff on here, especially with like the acoustic guitars in verse 2. But for stuff like this, I really just try to like focus on like the actual like parts and like the pattern of the kick drum, like the way the guitars are being played, and yeah, that's kind of how I do it. So anyways, yeah, thanks for watching the chat, and be sure to comment below if you're liking it. I'd appreciate it. But yeah, hope you guys have a good Christmas, and yeah, talk to you later.